Hello students, welcome to today's class. I am Sunita from G.K.Jain schools. Today we are going to learn a poem from the class 10 English textbook. Unit 3, the name of the poem is I Am Every Woman by Shirke. Today's women are beautiful, strong, brave and resolute. They are ready to face the negative situation with boldness and a positive approach. They are ready to work hard. They always prepare themselves for the future. They are persistent in their efforts. They are capable of driving away brickbats and kickbacks. They also care about their dear and near ones. They are the ones with self-esteem. Totally, their dignity, persistence and noble nature make them powerful. So students, our poetess Rakhi says, the woman is the pride of the nation. She, with her beauty, power, strength and persistence, she is ready to bear the burden of today's world. So students, first we will look about the poetess. Let us know about the poetess and then followed by the summary of the poem, and then lastly we will see the appreciation questions. So let's know about the author.
About the author, Rakhi Shirke is an academician with a passion for writing poems as a medium of self-expression. She is a postgraduate with a bachelor's degree in education. I am every woman. A woman is beauty innate, a symbol of power and strength. She puts her life at stake. She's real. She's not fake. The summer of life, she's ready to see in spring. She says spring will come again, dear. Let me care for the ones who are near. She's the woman. She has no fear. Strong is she in her faith and beliefs. Persistence is the key to everything, says she. Despite the sighs and groans and moans, she's strong in her faith, firm in her belief. She's a lioness, don't mess with her. She will not spare you if you are a prankster. Don't ever try to sow her pride, her self-respect. She knows how to thaw you, saw you. So beware. She's today's woman, today's woman, dear. Love her, respect her, keep her near. I Am Every Woman by Rakhi Shirke. Summary of the poem. According to the poetess, every woman is beautiful innate. She is the symbol of power and strength. She is prone to put her life at risk. Every woman is true in expressing her love and she is never fake. She is very persistent in her approach. Even at times of adversity, she finds a ray of hope and she continues to care for her near ones. She is the woman and she has no fear. She is forceful in her faith and beliefs. She is never a quitter and she is optimistic. She is ferocious like a lioness. It is better for the prankster to stay away from her. Never should one try to bring disgrace to her pride and self-respect, for she knows how to thaw and saw them. She is today's woman. It is dignified to love her, respect her, and to keep her healthier.
So students, I hope you have understood the summary of the poem. Now let's move on to the appreciation questions. To begin with, let's first identify the rhyming words in the poem. I have written the poem here on the board for you. We'll take the first answer and let's identify the rhyming words. The rhyming words is the similarity of sounds in the words at the end of each line in a verse. So let's see the last word in the poem. Stanza, first one. Innate strength. There is no similarity in the sound. Stake, fake. There is a similarity of the sound. So we will mark it. So in the first stanza, we have the rhyming words stake, fake. Let's move on to the second stanza. Spring, dear, near, fear. Dear, near, fear are similarity in their sounds. So let's mark it. They are the rhyming words dear, near, fear. Let's move on to the third stanza. Believes, everything, moans, belief. So we don't have any rhyming word in this particular stanza. Let's move on to the fourth stanza. Her, prankster. There is a similarity in the sound. Her, prankster. So these are the rhyming words. Self-respect, beware. There is no similarity in the sound. The last two lines. Dear, near. There is similarity in the sound. So they are the rhyming words. So students, we have identified the rhyming words. Now let's move on to the rhyming scheme. What is the rhyming scheme? Rhyming scheme is the pattern of the rhyming words at the end of each line. The rhyming words in a stanza is given a letter and our stanza contains 4 lines. So let's take the first 4 lines, that is the first stanza, and identify the rhyming scheme. Let's name it as the letter A. Next, the letter B, as they are not similar in the sound. So we'll give them separate letters. First one A, the second B. We have already identified our rhyming words. So we'll give the letter C, as they both are in the similar in sound. So we'll repeat the letter C. So the rhyming scheme for the first stanza is A, B, C, C. Now let's move on to the second stanza. Let's begin with the letter A again. As the 3 words are in the other rhyming words, so let's name it as B and then repeat the letter B. So what is the rhyming scheme, students? A, B, B, B. Let's move on to the third stanza. Let's start with the letter A. As there is no rhyming words in this particular stanza, the scheme becomes A, B, C, D. Moving on to the fourth stanza. First letter A for the rhyming word. They both are in similar sound. Repeat the letter A. Next B. And this is C. So the rhyming scheme for the fourth stanza is A, B, C. For the last 2 lines, The rhyming words dear, near, same sound. So we'll write the scheme A. So students, now we have identified the rhyming scheme for the poem. Now let's move on for the identification of this figure of speech or the poetic devices in this particular poem. So let's identify the figure of speech. So students, now let's identify the figure of speech in our poem, the figure of speech or the poetic devices. So first let's identify the alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the first letter of a word in a poem. If you see the first stanza, the second line, we have the word symbol and strength. Here the letters S and S is being repeated. So this is an alliteration. If you see the first line in the second stanza, the letter S in summer, the letter S in sea, and the letter S in the word spring. The repetition of the letters. So this is an alliteration. Now let's move on to the third stanza. If you see the third line, says yes and sighs yes. The repetition of the letter S. So this is an alliteration. In the next line, that is the fourth line, the word faith, F, the letter F, and firm, the letter F. So there is a repetition of the first letter of the word faith and firm. So we have identified our alliteration. Now let's move on to the next figure of speech. Then we have metaphor in this poem. Let's identify the metaphor. You have in the first line, woman is beauty innate. Woman is inborn or natural beauty. So we have a metaphor here. Even the line symbol of power and strength is a metaphor. So we identified the metaphor here. The summer of life is also a metaphor. And then we have this line, she's a lioness. The woman is a lioness. We use the words like and as, then it is a simile. But if you don't use the words like as and like, then it is a metaphor. So we have identified the metaphor in our poem. And then next we'll move on to the next figure of speech. Let's identify it. You see the word real and the word fake. They are opposite in meaning. And the words are opposite in a meaning, then it is called oxymoron. So this is the figure of speech over here. So next we can identify some more figure of speech in our poem. If you see the words she, she's, in this particular lines it's been repeated in consecutive lines. When words are repeated in consecutive lines, then it's called anaphora. So you have a figure of speech in this particular line, she, she's, and then you have even here she is a lioness. Repetition of she here and she. So this is called anaphora. And there is an anaphora here. So one more figure of speech we have, students, here. The repetition of the words today's woman. Again you have today's woman. So this line we have the repetition. The figure of speech is called as repetition. So students, the repetition emphasizes the core message of the poem. So now we have identified all the figure of speech in our poem, students. And once you are thorough with the summary of the poem, you can answer all the ERC questions which will be asked in your examinations. You know to identify the rhyming words, the rhyming scheme, and I have explained you the poetic device also. So students, this poem is a memoriter poem. You need to memorize the entire poem to attempt the question and which will be asked in your examination. I hope you have understood today's class, students, and you have understood the message given by the poetess in this poem named as I Am Every Woman by Rakhi Naryani Shirke. And with this we come to the end of our lesson today, and we'll meet you again in the next class with a new topic and a new explanation. Thank you once again, students.